Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal. I hope you're waking up feeling good this Monday, wherever you are in the world. You should be, because yesterday afternoon, was a very, very good day to be an Arsenal fan. Really good win, impressive win, especially considering the changes, to go up to a side like Leicester and get a victory like that, especially on the back of a really difficult and energy-sapping and draining European game on Thursday night in Athens. Arsenal didn't get back till Friday. They didn't really have any time to train. They travelled up to Leicester on Saturday, and then to find yourself 1-0 down after 5 minutes, I think at any point there, many teams would have just folded, heads would have gone down, and that game could have disappeared away from them in the blink of an eye. But Arsenal, to their credit, they responded really, really well. They showed good character, desire to get back in the game, and they ended up with a very, very impressive 3-1 win. And just another indicator for me of the signs of improvement that we're seeing from Arsenal, and the kind of clear plan that we're beginning to see from Mikel Arteta now. That is certainly, I think you're seeing that in results as well. You're seeing that plan put into place, and you're seeing Arsenal picking up results. I mean, the signs since Christmas are undeniable, really, certainly from my point of view, that there's reason to be optimistic for next season and for the future. Look, I'm not saying there's any reason to celebrate. The league table doesn't lie. Arsenal are not in a good position, and not in a position that's good enough for Arsenal, so you're certainly not going to celebrate that. But I just think we're beginning to see Arsenal now moving in the right direction. For me, there's a clear plan for the first time in a long, long time. And that's what I've wanted to see for ages. I think you go back to Emery, there was no real clear plan there. Certainly the beginning of Arteta as well, that I didn't feel at times there wasn't really a clear plan there. Formations were changing week in, week out. People were worrying too much about the opposition and changing formations to suit them. Was it 3 at the back? Was it 4-2-3-1? Was it 4-3-3? Was it 3-4-3? It was just chopping and changing week in, week out. And I don't think results aren't ever going to be good when you're doing that. But now there's a clear plan in place. We've seen it since Christmas, basically since Smith Rowe got introduced into the team. We've gone to 4-2-3-1, and Arteta's not steering away from that. That is the plan now. No matter who Arsenal are playing, where they're playing, is 4-2-3-1. And players come in. If players aren't around, a player comes in but slots into that position. We saw it again yesterday. We saw it when Smith Rowe went off injured as well. Odegaard just slotted in seamlessly in the number 10 role. And you go back since Christmas when the change was made, and Arsenal were very much focused on 4-2-3-1 since then. And Emile Smith Rowe came in against Chelsea. You look at the league table since then, and look, I'm not celebrating. I know everyone's going to say, "Oh, the league started in September," when it was. I know, but I'm using this as an example of, for me, why there's real cause for optimism and belief that Arsenal are beginning finally to head in the right direction. Is you look at that league table, Arsenal are fourth since Christmas. They're only 1 point off West Ham, who are second. Man United are on the same points as Arsenal. They're above them only on goal difference. I mean, Man City obviously are way out in the distance. They've won every single game. But, Arsenal are fourth in that time. And when you consider in those 12 games, they've played the likes of Leicester, Leeds, Man City, Chelsea, Villa, and yet they're still right up there in that run. It speaks volumes for the improvement that they've made. They've only United and City have scored more goals than them in that time. Only City have conceded less. And so for me, I just think it's impossible to say there aren't any signs of progress. There are genuine signs of progress there, and that is very, very encouraging. We've had another good win away against a top side in the Premier League. That was the first time since 2015 that Arsenal beaten a side in the top 3 in the Premier League at the time of playing them. That follows on from the win at Old Trafford earlier this season. So there is reason to be optimistic. Again, I'm not celebrating anything. I'm not saying that Arsenal are good. It's done and dusted and Arsenal are back, anything like that. It's not. They're not. Obviously, look at the league table. It doesn't lie. It's not been good enough. The season's been pretty unacceptable in terms of performance and in terms of results. But this is why I still believe, and why under Emery I couldn't see any way back, because I know what the players thought of him. I know what the mood was like at Arsenal around that time. He'd absolutely lost the squad. It was completely obvious. Anyone that you spoke to in and around the club, there was no alternative. He had to go at that point. But you've never felt that with Arteta. The players have always been behind him. Yes, results haven't always been great, certainly at the start of the season or in that middle chunk of the season in November, December. But he never lost the players, and and they always felt they were going to turn it around. And now we're beginning to see it. They are turning it around, and the results back that up. So look, the season hasn't been good enough. We know that, but there is a clear plan emerging at Arsenal now. And no matter what players are out or what players are in, it's just sticking to that formation. And as I said with the Odegaard substitution yesterday, when one person goes out, the other one just slots in. Like when Xhaka was rested yesterday, you got Willian coming in, Pepe going in on the wings, and it's just sticking to that clear plan, and results are beginning to improve because of it. We've seen that the youngsters have certainly been a key to a lot of the success since Christmas. As I said, Smith Rowe coming in, Bukayo Saka has basically single-handedly at times dragged Arsenal through. But yesterday it was important that the senior players did that. There was lots of changes. Saka was given the rest that a lot of people have been calling for. You saw senior players step up. Willian, obviously, who I'll get to in a minute, had that very, very good performance. Pepe stepped up, delivered a fantastic performance. Alexander Lacazette was great. Granit Xhaka was great. And Lacazette, were talking about it afterwards, and he said, he was talking about the sort of senior players. He said, I think it's important that everyone played well. We talk about the younger players who have played well and helped the team as well. The senior players need to be ready to be good. We don't have to rely on the younger players. When everyone is focused, it's easier for Arsenal. And when he was asked on whether that's in the minds of the senior players, that they've got to step up and basically help the younger players who have been the key to Arsenal's turnaround in form since Christmas, he said, yes, we need to play and play well. Everyone wants to play, so we have to perform really well to show the coach that we deserve to, and it's up to the coach to decide. And you know, Arteta is now going to have problems about who plays and who doesn't play, and that's what you need. You need everyone. You need everyone playing well. You need everyone fighting for places in the team, and maybe that hasn't been the case at Arsenal for the last couple of years. But we're beginning to see signs of players coming. I think it's really important that Willian had the performance that he did yesterday. I'll get to him in a minute, but also, as Laka said there, the likes of him, Xhaka, you know, senior players, even Cedric, who again I'll get to in a minute, really sort of stepping up and performing well when the team needs it. David Luiz as well, getting the all-important equaliser yesterday. So important that the senior players did that, and certainly if they can carry on doing that between now and the end of the season, then you would expect results to continue on the upward trajectory that they are. I've got to talk about Willian. I mean, it was a big, big day for Willian yesterday. He needed it. It's been basically up to that point, it's been a pretty much disastrous season for Willian, but he's had a big week. He had the good substitute appearance against Benfica, getting the assist for the equaliser. Mikel obviously wanted to sort of build on that. He threw him into the starting 11 yesterday, and he responded with definitely 100% his best Arsenal performance of the season. Was excellent throughout. Thought even at 1-0, and he was kind of a little bit involved in fault for the first goal. I think there was other players who were equally as fault as well. Xhaka and him got into trouble. I thought certainly El Neni should have tracked the run of Tielemans and not let him drive into the box. So I'm not just going to single out Willian, but you know that, given the season he's had, and making a mistake or being involved in a mistake that leads to a goal early on in the game, your head can drop there massively, but it didn't. And he was very, very good, even at 0-0 for that half an hour when they were still, at 1-0, for that half an hour when Arsenal were trailing. I thought Willian was Arsenal's best player. He was driving them forward, he was trying to make things happen, and eventually he did make things happen with the equaliser and his assist for that. And then he played a big part in the second and the third goal as well. So really good performance from Willian. Hopefully one, touch wood, that kickstarts his Arsenal career now, because he certainly needed it. And unsurprisingly, he came in for a lot of praise after the game. You know, he's a popular player at Arsenal, Willian. Behind the scenes, he's been really popular. Everyone's been wanting him to do well. And it's no surprise to see Mikel obviously sort of jump on that after the game and try and build the players' confidence up even more by talking very highly of him. What he had to say, he said he was really good, Willian. We've seen it in training in the last few weeks. He's rebuilding himself and he's not accepting the situation. I think he was a player who changed the game against Benfica in the last few moments, and today I thought it was terrific. Same with the other senior players too, Laka, Nico, Granit as well. A player that's played that many minutes, to play with the heart and passion he showed in every action. I think it's a great example for the rest of the players. So again, Mikel Arteta there talking about the senior players and how important it has been that they have stepped up yesterday and in other games recently. Just a little talk about Cedric versus Hector Bellerin. Another really interesting performance from Cedric. I thought what was most interesting was the combination between him and Nicolas Pepe. Now, I think that has been a big thing that people have singled out recently. Whenever Hector and Pepe have played together, certainly against Manchester City, was almost a lack of understanding. Were they too close at times? You know, not passing to each other, just not really understanding each other and what runs they were making. And but yesterday there was a clear understanding between Cedric and Pepe, and Arsenal really benefited from that down that right-hand side. You could see it. There was an interesting stat that was doing the rounds afterwards that during the game yesterday, Cedric and Pepe found each other 31 times against Leicester, and then Pepe and Bellerin against Man City, there were just 7 passes between the two of them, and there's a clear example maybe of the better understanding between the two and how they maybe work slightly better in tandem than Hector and Pepe do. And I think as popular as Bellerin is and as key and influential figure he is behind the scenes, and I've been a Bellerin fan for a long time, but as I said before in these videos, I really think that this summer is the opportunity possibly to move Hector on and shake things up in that right-back department. Whether Cedric is a long-term answer at right-back, I'm not entirely sure. I think Arsenal have got to be looking to maybe get a younger player in, very similar sort of style to Kieran Tierney, that can operate down that right-hand side. And but between now and the end of the season, I think Mikel's got to seriously put some thought into whether Cedric is a better option at right-back than Hector, because Hector's performances have not been great. There's no denying that. Even though a staunch Bellerin fan can't really say that there hasn't certainly been room for improvement in Hector's performances. And I thought Cedric was good again yesterday. Not fantastic, out of this world fantastic. Defensively, there were a couple of moments where he looked a little bit suspect, but certainly that understanding with Nico down the right-hand side was really encouraging. And that stat that I read out there, I think sort of summed it up perfectly. Granit Xhaka, I think we've got to talk about Granit Xhaka. He deserves a lot of praise at the moment. Granit, he's obviously a player who a lot of people have criticised over the period of time he's been at Arsenal. I've certainly criticised him at times during his stay at Arsenal, but I think we're seeing absolutely the best performances Granit Xhaka has ever produced in an Arsenal shirt. Since that red card against Burnley, he has been absolutely fantastic. He delivered again yesterday, fantastic performance, especially considering the amount of minutes he's played. Everyone else pretty much got a rest yesterday. He didn't. He played and he was great. He was so influential in that third goal, winning the ball back. He was pressing so well. The whole team was pressing so well. I thought if you watched Match of Day 2 last night, they really highlighted that, and I thought they were right to highlight that because it was the pressing was very evident, and Granit led that. The third goal, clear evidence of that when he wins the ball back in midfield and springs Arsenal forward on that counter-attack, and he was very good, and Mikel's singling him out for praise after the game as well. He says, look, if you've put an example on that pitch about character and about going for every single goal with that determination, then probably it's him. He's played more minutes than anybody else, but he keeps going even when he's so tired. He tries to help the team in the right way. For someone like him at his age to play again quickly after the game where he had to play against Benfica, it was really tough. But they had the real attitude and they wanted to be involved. They wanted to play, and that's how they approach every single game. He's talking more in that last line about all the senior players, not just Granit Xhaka. But I thought Xhaka was excellent. He's had to play with a lot of different midfield partners this season because of injuries to Thomas Partey. Whether it be Ceballos, Partey at times, or Mohamed El Neni like it was yesterday. But everyone he plays with, he's playing really well, and he deserves an awful lot of credit for his performances. He's had, as I said, lots of criticism at times, Granit Xhaka, but when he plays well, you need to give him praise. And right now, he is playing very well. Arguably, the best he's ever played in an Arsenal shirt. I think it's the best he's ever played for Arsenal anyway. Really excellent performance again from Granit. In terms of Emile Smith Rowe's injury, we're going to have to find that out over a couple of days. He'll have a scan on it now to find out the extent of the hip injury he suffered. There is concern at Arsenal. Mikel Arteta admitting that straight after the game yesterday. He said, I am concerned because for Emile to come out and say I cannot continue, it should be something. It's something related to his hip. I don't know how bad it is. But he was in a good place after the game. So slightly, hopefully that's something we can cling on to, that he was in a good place after the game. He did obviously walk off. He didn't get stretched off or anything like that or helped off. He just felt something straight away after that equaliser. You could see he wasn't happy. And hopefully when the scan results come through in the next couple of days, that things will show that he's not going to be out for too long, because Arsenal certainly need Smith Rowe. The good thing is, obviously, that Martin Odegaard is now here, and as he showed yesterday with the quality immediately after coming on, and he played a big part in the second and third goals, that Arsenal have a player who can play at number 10. Who can just slip in seamlessly when Smith Rowe is not available. That is something they didn't have before the January transfer window, and that shows the importance of bringing Odegaard in. Right, before I go, I'm just going to run over my player ratings. I did do, it's easy for me to say, the video yesterday. If you haven't seen them now, I'll just rattle through them very, very quickly at the end. Please do let me know if you agree with them or not. Bernd Leno didn't have too much to do, but I thought he did everything well. Palmed away a couple of long distance shots, didn't make any real errors. Couldn't do anything for the first goal, left completely exposed by his defence. So I'm going to give him a 7. All 4 of the back 4 get 7 for me. So that's Cedric, Luiz, Mari and Tierney. I thought Mari against Vardy coped really, really well. There was one excellent piece of defending in the second half when when Vardy looked like he was going to get away, and Mari dealt with the situation really, really well. Some people criticised him for the first goal, for the Leicester goal. I feel like El Neni should have shut that gap down. I think Mari had to worry about Jamie Vardy, who was in the centre, and if he'd gone around to sort of cover Tielemans, then Vardy would have been left with a tap-in the centre. I think it was more El Neni's fault there. Despite that criticism of El Neni, I actually thought he had a really good game as well yesterday. Moved the ball a lot quicker than I've seen at times and got Arsenal moving forward, which we don't always see from El Neni. So I'm going to give him a 7 as well. Granit Xhaka, brilliant. As I've said, he gets an 8 for me. Excellent performance from Xhaka. Smith Rowe given a 6. He obviously got substituted in the first half. He gets a 6 for me. Willian was my man of the match. I gave him an 8. I thought he was excellent. We've covered it already in this video. Really big performance from him. Lacazette gets a 7. Very close to an 8 for me. Now almost a 7.5 if I gave half ratings. Really good. Took his penalty well. Led the line excellently. Pepe as well gets an 8. It was between him and Willian. It was toss up basically for man of the match. They were both excellent. In terms of the subs, the only one I really gave a rating to was Odegaard because he came on and played a large chunk of the game. He got a 7. I thought he was excellent, involved in the second and third goal. Partey was encouraging when he came on. If I was going to give him a rating, it would probably be between a 6 and a 7, but just because he wasn't involved for too much of the game, I'm not going to give him a rating. That's about it. Thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you're all feeling very good about yourselves this Monday. Always nice to wake up at the start of the week with a very good Arsenal win, and that's exactly what that was. Mikel Arteta speaking to the press this week on Wednesday morning ahead of the weekend's game to Burnley, so I will be covering that. But between now and then, please do follow me on social media. Find me on Twitter at Charles_Watts, on Facebook as well, and I'll keep you updated if anything happens between now and then involving Arsenal. Have a good start to the week, everyone. I'll speak to you very, very soon.